What's up, everybody? Trinity here. Welcome back to 2nd Street. It's DC Tuesday, and here I am in my local comic book shop, Bases Cards and Comics, right here in Lancaster, California, where we just got done doing all the bagging and boarding and getting all the pull lists fulfilled for new Comic Book Wednesday. And welcome to the new Comic Book Day review show. Ladies and gentlemen, today I am going to be going over my comic book pull list for the week, the books that I am going to be taking home from the comic book shop this week. Now, if you don't know what a comic book pull list is, that's okay. You can go ahead and check out the video right up there where you can go and learn a little bit more about that. Now, what I typically do is I get into all of my books by showing you Marvel, DC, then I get into small press and indies, and we are going to do no different than that today. Then after that, I'm going to give you a quick sweep of all of the covers of the new comic books getting ready to hit shelves this week, and then I am going to get into some of my comic book reviews for the week, and I don't have too many books to review this week. Now, as I said, I typically start off showing off Marvel, and we're going to do no different, starting right off with Black Widow issue number 11. This series is being written by Kelly Thompson, and I gotta be quite honest with you, I haven't I've read this series since like issue number 4 or 5, so I'm behind on this one. This is one of the books that I will not be reviewing today. The next one on my comic book pull list on the indies is on Dynamite Comics. This is Betty Page, Curse of the Banshee, issue number 4, and this again is another book that I am buying. I haven't read issue number 2 and 3, but I can guarantee one thing, and this is not a cover buy just for the Betty Page cover art there where it was the picture. I swear it wasn't just for that, but because we don't do cover buys here. The next one is on Absolute Comics Group. This is White Widow, issue number 7. In case you guys don't know, I've really been enjoying this series, just to get that right out there right off the bat. The next one that I have here on AWA Upshot is Fight Girls, issue number 3 of 5. This series is almost over. Now, the next one on AWA Upshot is Moths, issue number 4 of, of 6 as well. Here on that one. Then also got these other books in. This is the WandaVision Collectors Studio Collectors Special. This book right here just has like a lot of like the behind the scenes stuff and some interviews with some of the cast and crew, and even the writer Jack Schaefer. I've already read all of this and everything. There's nothing too new in here. I mean, some production photos and stuff. Nothing too major, nothing too new. So if you were thinking about purchasing this one, I mean, you might want to think about it. You could probably watch one of those Disney Plus shows and get just as much out of the shows that you do in here. It goes through a breakdown of each and every episode in this book as well. So, just for those of you out there. And then the last book I'm going to talk about is Kevin Smith's Secret Stash. This is the definitive visual history. I cannot wait to get into a little bit more of this book, but those are the books that I am bringing home from my local comic book shop this week. Guys, let me know down in the comments below what's on your comic book pull list this week. Now, let's go ahead, and I'm going to show you all of the covers of all the books getting ready to hit the shelves of local comic book shops this week, and then we will get into a few comic book reviews. as you can see, there's quite a bit of issues getting ready to hit the shelves of local comic book shops again this week. Folks, let me know what's on your comic book pull list. And now let's go ahead and get right into some comic book reviews for this week. Starting off with the Absolute Comics Group White Widow issue number 7. Now this series is one I have really enjoyed. I've enjoyed all of the titles that they are doing over at the Absolute Comics Group. White Widow is the first one that I ever read over there. This is telling the story of Gabby Garcia, who her parents were working for this organization known as the Group, and what they were doing is kind of working on biotechnology. Well, what had happened is Gabby Garcia, when she was a little girl, they found out that she had this rare genetic, this kind of genetic disorder or disease, and she would kind of always need these treatments, and so they were always closely monitoring her. So what we find out in this issue is that her parents were kind of doing this to kind of keep her alive. Now, in issue number 6 of White Widow, we seen there was a crossover with Darkon, and she basically went to hell, and she had these visions where she went and saved her dad in the afterlife, and she also got these visions that gave her the premonition that she probably needs to go and check on the rest of her family, and that's what we see here in issue number 7, where she's going to Tokyo to reach out to extended family that she hadn't seen in a long time. She goes, she meets her cousins, her aunt, and she also gets a little bit more of a backstory of her family history as well as her mother and father, and some interesting things revealed here from her aunt that we didn't really ever get before, and maybe they took Gabby Garcia by a little bit of surprise. Altogether, I gotta say, I really do enjoy this series. Definitely a recommend. Now, the one thing I like about this issue number 7 is by the time we're here in issue number 7, and it has taken a while for this series to come out, you know, with the pandemic and everything, you know, a lot of stuff got delayed. But I really feel like we've gotten a lot of story and a lot of things have happened to Gabby Garcia by the time we get here into issue number 7 of this book. Now, this series is on the Absolute Comics Group, and it is written, White Widow was created by Jamie Tyndall and Benny R. Powell. The story and letters are by Benny R. Powell. Iwan Nazif is on pencils and inks. James Brown on colors. Delaney Sleeper is the assistant editor. Jenna Powell is the editor. I'll show you those names right there so you can get a little bit better look at those. Now, like I said, this series is really great. Here we see Gabby Garcia again going to Tokyo, and we see her ending up getting into a scuffle with another one of her newest enemies, the Blood Widow. And here they end up getting into a little bit of a battle, and it gets pretty intense. And again, I really do like the art and everything in this book. Again, definitely a series that I highly recommend that you might want to check out, because I really do truly enjoy this series. But I want to know from you down in the comments below if you have ever read White Widow or any of the other tie-in issues of this series. They've got different ones like I Make Boys Cry, Darkon, Amped, and just different ones that kind of tie into this whole universe. Dual Identity is another one of them. And they are all been very good, and I like the books and the work that they're doing over at the Absolute Comics Group. But again, let me know down in the comments below if you've read this title, and if so, what you think about it, or if it's anything that sounds interesting to you. Let me know all your thoughts down in the comments below. So let's go ahead and get right into this next one on AWA Upshot. This is Fight Girls, issue number 3 of 5. This series is being written by Frank Cho. It's got art by Frank Cho. It was created by Frank Cho, and it's colored by Sabine Rich and lettered by Sal Cipriano. I'll show you those names right there. You can get a look at some of the art, the names, just a little bit what you can expect in this book. Now, this book I've enjoyed this series overall. What you got is you got this queen who had died, and she didn't have any successors. She didn't have any kids or anything to take up the mantle to be the queen, let alone the king. She didn't have any kids. So what we see here is they've kind of enacted these games to go out there, and these 10 different women have to go and compete in these skills, these challenges of skill or survival, if you will, to see who's fit to become the next queen. And over the first couple of issues, we've seen kind of all the back and forth of them going through these couple of trials, and the women and how they've just kind of been getting there into that. And no different here in issue number 3 here, where we are on stage 3, and we actually see that they are on this water planet. planet, and they have to basically swim from one platform to another. And of course, all of these things take skill and cunning, right, and wit to get through this. And I'll show you some of the art right here. But altogether, I gotta say, I think this series has been pretty good overall. Just kind of, there's a little bit more going on in the background of the story. As one of the characters, ooh, here's some gory stuff for you. As one of the characters is actually kind of being looked at and investigated along the way here as well, and we don't really know who or what they're investigating her for. Altogether, I gotta say, I think Fight Girls has been a pretty decent series, one I have enjoyed. Definitely a recommend if you're into something like that. I mean, I've heard people out there compare it to like the Hunger Games. I wouldn't know, I've never read those books or seen those movies, so I can't really speak on that, but I think it's a pretty decent series if you ask me. Again, overall, the art is pretty good and the writing here, nothing really to complain about. But that's just if you ask me. I want to know from you. Let me know down in the comments below if you have ever read Fight Girls and what you think about it. I almost said Goyles. But let me know all your thoughts down in the comments below. I want to know what you think about this series, or if it even sounds interesting to you. Or is it too many whamming? I don't know. I think it's pretty good. Definitely a recommend if you're into some of those different things. Now, moving right along, let's go ahead and get into this next title here. This is Moths issue number 4 of 6. This series is being written by J. Michael Straczynski. It's got art by Mike Choi, and it is lettered by Sal Cipriano. I'll go ahead and show you those names right there. Now, I've got to say, I really do enjoy this series overall. Moths is once again telling another story in this whole AWA Upshot shared universe of stories. Now, J. Michael Straczynski is writing this. He started off the AWA Upshot universe with The Resistance, and now they are on the Resistance Uprising. We've also got Moths here as well. They also recently launched Telepaths, another one as well. It kind of takes place all in the same universe. Now, Moths are kind of these people who are reborns, is what a lot of these people were called, who they get their powers, and their powers, it's kind of a limited skill set. They get some really fantastic powers, but these moths, once they reveal their powers, they have these super strong powers that grow over 6 months, and then they die. And through this series, we've been following this character, Emily, who she kind of has some telepathic or maybe empathetic receptors, kind of, I guess you could say, where we've seen that she released her powers, and then she's been going out and helping people find loved ones, helping people heal, and things like that. Now, one of the things she has been doing is she's been going out and doing like putting on like these I can't say a play, but like a ballet show where she's sitting out there doing some dancing, and what it is we find out is it kind of lets a lot of people kind of live these lives. That reveals these things to people, and it's really moving for the people that are there for it. Now, I gotta say, if you've ever been like, have you ever seen like a moving performance? Whether it's like I've been to a lot of concerts and everything, and you see some, like, sometimes you just see some really special shows, and it's really really great. And that's kind of what you see here, is this girl puts on these shows, and people get a lot out of it. And here you can see she's kind of going through some struggles of her own. She goes up to meet a friend that is definitely going through some struggles of her own as well. And she she shows her friend some of the things that she's kind of experienced. Her friend, who is kind of trying to make some decisions of her own. And just very good stuff in this story overall in this one. I really did enjoy this issue. This issue number 4 is probably one of the best books that I've read out of any of the Resistance series, and these ones directly tied into this by J. Michael Straczynski. This is definitely one of the best ones out there, and definitely one I would recommend reading. And even the art in this book is very good as well, by Mike Choi here. A lot of the similar art here throughout the series, but I gotta say, I really do enjoy this series overall, and I've enjoyed most of these AWA Upshot Shared Universe books and titles as well. But I want to know from you. Let me know down in the comments below if you have read Moths or any of the tie-in series to this series. Let me know all your thoughts down in the comments below. Okay, so that's the final comic book that I have for this week, but I do have this last book here that I want to show you guys before we go. This is Kevin Smith's Secret Stash, the definitive visual history. Guys, I seen this solicited and I knew that I had to pick this up. I didn't know what all would come in it. Now this book right here, it retails, the cover price is $65. It's got a foreword by Jason Mewes, and look, they used the picture of him here where he's older, where he's already had his grill replaced and everything. You can tell. It's got this very nice dust jacket on here as well. And then you get it onto the book and you can see it's got a lot. It's a hardcover. You can see it's got the same printing as is on the dust jacket. Now this book is saying it's the definitive visual history. Now I thought it was just of the View Askew universe. This book actually has a lot of really cool stuff in it, from all of the production, like behind the scenes and stuff, from all of Kevin Smith's movies. All the View Askew universe movies, the Jay and Silent Bob ones and all those, as well as Red State, Tusk, and some of the other films that Kevin Smith has done outside of the Jay and Silent Bob series of books. Now what's cool is, like, you open it up, you can get in here and see some of these cool things in here as well. But you also, like I said, there's all kinds of background things on here. I better not show that one. Here. They just got, like, here, right here. They've got this, what is this? The Vancouver Film School student profile. It's got this thing right here, and it's kind of like stapled in here, these pages that are like, they've got other things in here as well, like original script pages, just different things they have in here, kind of showing you a lot of the, like I said, the behind the scenes production. What is this? Just some of these different scripts and things like that from the movies when they were growing up. This one would have been from Clerks, it looks like. Gosh, I know there's some different ones in here, like for movies right here. We've got this the little fry thing from when they did like Clerks 2. Just a whole bunch of different cool things in this book. I cannot wait until I get the time to actually sit down and take a look and read through all of this book. But just looking at it right here, just kind of skimming through it and everything, this book has a lot of cool things in it. If you are a Kevin Smith fan or a fan of his films, like his older stuff, they've even got Reboot in here. But I know there's somebody probably out there like, Kevin Smith, he's such a sellout. He-Man and blah blah blah. Like, I don't really care about that shit. I watch He-Man, I don't give a shit about that. I can tell you, but this has a lot of stuff to do with all of the old stuff, the stuff that I love from Kevin Smith. The member berries are going to be strong in this one, and I cannot wait to get into this book. And I can guarantee you could probably find this book out there. Again, $65. You can see it's a pretty thick and nice little book as well. But that's all I've got for today's video, folks. Thank you all so much for tuning in to the Second Street Marvel. If you're not already, please make sure you're subscribed. Click the little bell and all of that good stuff. Give this video a thumbs up if you like it. Give it a thumbs down if you don't. It's okay. You're not going to hurt my feelings. But while you're at it, make sure that you share with a friend and invite them to come hang out with us here on the Second Street Marvel, where we love to talk about comic books, movies, music, and more. And again, I want to know your thoughts on any of these comic books. So what's on your comic book list, or if you happen to pick up any of these other books, the WandaVision behind the scenes special, did you get that? Did you get this Jay and Silent Bob? It's Kevin Smith. Did you get Kevin Smith's Secret Stash? Let me know all your thoughts down in the comments below. You have a very good day, and we'll see you in the next video. Later.